Welcome to the Gun Show. I am the Gunman, and this is episode 2 of a motivational moment. So I've realized that now that I've started this, I'm almost taking it more in the direction of a personal therapy for myself while giving you guys, the audience, some perspective into how you might help your own life. So without giving details of my own personal situations, I give you my thoughts on how to fix that thinking. No, I'm not a psychologist, of course, but I do love psychology. I've taken a few classes in college, read a few books, and I'm continuing to read and listen to more books. Personally like audiobooks. And right now, I just finished Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights, where he basically gives an autobiography, memoir, self-help, comedy, 5.5 hours of just, if you like Matthew McConaughey, you'll love this book. Let's put it that way. I personally do, and I absolutely love the book. I listened to it 3 or 4 times in the last week. All right. So the new book that I'm listening to is Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk. So I knew a little bit about Jay Shetty before I got the book. And when I saw him, I was like, hey, I like this guy. So I decided to get the book. And it is a 10.5-hour book. But it seems like every chapter I'm finding something else I like. So if I say anything in these videos that I got from one or the other book, I'm going to mention that so that maybe it'll entice you to also get the book and also inspire yourself. So today's topic is going to be based on regrowth. So recently I had a little bit of a culture shock, a little bit of check yourself kind of thing, and it got me to restart a few things. This, for example, and focusing on working back towards my goals. So one thing that I've always kind of enjoyed the thought of, and I started using this as my platform for, was one day I'd like to be a motivational speaker. Maybe be up on stage, maybe have a podcast. I got a YouTube channel at least. And, I aspire to inspire. So one thing that has always made me smile was the thought, just the thought that somebody would call me, text me, walk up to me and tell me face to face, you know what? Because of you, I didn't quit. Because of you, I was able to do this. Not necessarily because I physically helped them complete the task. They completed the task. They did it for themselves. But maybe they heard my voice. Maybe they heard my sayings. Something that I say over and over, like, if you ain't having fun doing what you're doing, why are you doing it? And it just inspired them to not quit or change something or whatever it may be to better their life. So that's another one that I like, is aspire to inspire. So on the topic of regrowth, I got to thinking, when you're doing a monotonous task and you're able to do it without focusing on that task. So my typical day-to-day job is lawn care, right? So I ride a mower. I've done this 100 times every week. I get on the mower, I mow, I put the mower back, I weed eat, I blow, I go, right? It's getting monotonous. I don't have to think about it. Oh, I got to turn here. Oh, I got to back up, whatever. It's not something that I have to focus on, that I think about too much, because I've done it so much that it's just natural. Like driving. So how many times have you sat there and thought, well, how did I get here? You remember getting in the car. You remember starting the car up, but now you're at your destination and you're like, I don't even remember the drive, because you make the drive every day, or you make the drive regularly. So it doesn't mean that you're not paying attention to the road. It doesn't mean that you're not focused on driving safely. It just means that your body has gotten into such a rhythm that it happens and you didn't have to focus on it. Maybe you were focused about something else. You were focused on the day that you were about to have at work, or what you were going to eat tonight. You've got all these distractions that are what ifs, right? So let me throw it out to you that what if you take that time to think about ways to grow? Okay? So that's what I've been doing the last few weeks. Riding the mower, driving around, whatever it may be. I'm still using my turn signals. I'm still stopping at stop signs, stoplights, and everything like that. I'm driving safe, not speeding, but I'm thinking about, more specifically, my situation that, was a punch in the gut, like, hey, you're doing something that doesn't align with your goals. You're doing something that is affecting your life negatively. So I started thinking, all right, so this is what I'm doing. I know what I'm supposed to do. How can I move beyond this? How can I grow in this moment? And it got me thinking, all right, they always say plant the seed, plant the seed, plant the seed, right? But you got to have something to plant the seed in, right? You can't just throw it on the ground. So I started thinking, all right, let's dig in to what the problem was, so that I could figure out what the best seed to put into the ground, or my foundation, my past, is, that I can then water and tend to and grow into a new habit, a better person than I was yesterday. So thinking about it, I sat back and was like, all right, so I recognized a problem. And instead of what a lot of people want to talk about on working on your weaknesses, try to make them your strengths, what are my strengths instead? With that, you're not negating your weakness or where your downfall was, but you're thinking, what am I good at? What do I do well that could help this situation? So for me, I have anger issues, and trying to keep calm and everything like that, it's difficult in certain situations, especially stressful situations. So I dug into that. All right, what is the root of that? What is deeper inside that? Well, this thing was stressing me out, or this person was stressing me out. This event was stressing me out. Okay, why is it stressing you out? Oh, well, it's not going the way that I want it to. Oh, well, they're doing things that I don't like. Oh, well, I couldn't make it to that because I had other obligations. Or the event didn't go as I planned. Okay, what can you change about that? Can you change another person? No. And if you keep that person, if you want to keep that person around you, why would you want to change them? You know, maybe their change came because you changed for the negative. It's a different perspective on things, you know. Instead of, you know, that person is doing something wrong and I'm reacting, maybe they're reacting to you and then you're reacting back, and it's just a continued downward spiral. No, everything is not your fault. I'm gonna throw that out there because I have a tendency of telling myself that, and going with last week's video, you know, you can't beat yourself down on your self-worth you know, at all costs, at all avenues. So once again, come back to maybe they were reacting to you and then you reacted to them. So it's like a mirror reflecting back at each other, back at itself. It never ends. It's just a continued into the distance look. So you think about those actions that you took or that you could have taken to change the situation. Be it you didn't do something or you did do something that changed the outcome of the situation. Okay, you can't go back and change it now, but you can prepare for it in the future if another situation comes up. But what you can change right here and now is the way that you feel about it, the way that you think about it. So if you have, let's think about a situation. So someone does something or says something to you that you don't like, or sounded or was a direct insult to you. It comes to a situation where you react, right? Let's just put it at that point, right? You can't go back and change why they said it, but you can prevent it from happening again later if it was them reacting to you. Not saying it is, but if it was, you can take steps to grow yourself and make the moves towards that. So they said something about you that you don't like, or that you don't think is true, or is true, but they're pointing it out and it doesn't feel good. So that's a moment when you can actually take hold of your thoughts, your feelings, your continued actions of, okay, so this person says that I am this. I do not think that I am that. But how could I make it to where I don't feel like maybe they're right? Given the situation, you can't change right now what they feel. And by the way, this only applies to people that you love and you respect. Anyone else, fuck them. Plain and simple. Random strangers, they don't like you, who cares? But your loved ones, your family, your significant other, your friends, you know, they matter, right? You want them to feel good about you, right? Deep down, seated inside, you do. Whether they treat you the same way is one thing, but you want that approval of your tribe. Let's put it that way. So, going from there, you've dug down into what it is that is the problem. So you've dug down into the foundation, into the your past, into the ground, right? Now, what seed do you want to put in there now? What habit will help you grow better in this next step? So for me, I started looking internally and externally as to what I'm doing that is triggering the other person to do unto me as a reaction, right? So in my situation, I feel like my actions have sparked the actions of someone else that I didn't like, but it's still rooted back to me. So changing my actions would change their actions, which would change my feeling on the situation. Am I right? So I found my seed. Found the seed that I want to plant in this situation, in the foundation of what I am going to grow. Now, how do I make it grow? You water it, right? You tend to it. So my actions from before sparked the actions of someone else, which had a reaction from someone else that came back on me of, this is not right. Okay, so it all comes back to me. It came around to me. It started with me. So, what goes around comes around kind of thing. So with that, I'm looking into small little things that I might not have noticed before, but might help the situation grow. To eventually, I'm going to have one great habit that will help everyone else around me to see, hey, that looks good, I'd like to do that, and they're gonna model after me and move towards that. I guess that's how you start a garden. I'm not a gardener, but I like the concept of digging into your foundation, plant your seed, and let it grow. So you feed it with actions, you feed it with thoughts, and continuing to tend. You can't just water a plant once and it's going to grow. You got to keep watering it. You got to keep doing these actions. You got to keep making these thoughts. So hypothetical, you have a feeling that you don't matter at work or at home or whatever. Okay, why? Well, my boss is always upset with me. My boss is always telling me I need to speed up or whatever. Okay, so dig down deeper. Why? Why do they do that? Could it be your fault? Possibly. Could it be their fault? They're running behind on their schedules. They're always underperforming for themselves because they've set high standards for themselves because they're the boss. Or maybe it is your fault. Maybe it is something you can do. Okay, so dig deep. That's how you dig deeper. You think more on the topic. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself how. Ask yourself, what can I do? All right. If it's something that's on your boss, you can't do anything about it. So you don't focus on those. You focus on the things that you can do. All right. So boss says you need to speed up. Okay. What can I do to speed up? What are little things that I do that take up a little bit too much time that aren't necessarily in accordance with my goal of finishing my task? remove them. Or put them all together. So one thing that I like to do is categorize and prioritize. Whenever I am doing, let's say, laundry, all right, I can look at a pile of laundry and I can't stand saying, okay, this piece is mine, fold it, put it away. This piece is my son's, fold it, put it away. No, what I do is I sort everything out first. All right, boom, everything's on the bed, sorted out into 4, 5, 6 piles, and then I say, okay, what's the closest destination? All right, my dresser is right next to the bed, so boom, I fold all my stuff, I put it all away. What's next? Well, the towels are right there in the bathroom, so I'm gonna fold those, put those away. Then I fold up my girlfriend's stuff if she's not there helping me, and I'll put away what I can. Some of the stuff, she's got her own places, she's got her own organization, I don't touch it, but I hang it for her. I put it on the hangers, I do whatever I can before she gets home. And then I fold my kids' stuff because they're on the other side of the house. So I get them all separated into 1, 2, and 3, and I put them in their thing, I hang what needs to be, and then I take them one at a time over there so that I do not mix them up. That's how I prioritize and I categorize. So think about what takes up your time. This is just a hypothetical situation. You know, maybe your boss absolutely loves you. I don't know. It's not typical, but you know, it's a thought process. So moving forward, you start taking those little things and now you're getting done with your tasks a little bit faster. Well then, what's the boss's reaction? So you already dug down deep and you planted your seed and you watered it and you watered it and you tended to it. You kept getting a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster. Boss is still telling you need to go faster. Okay, now you got 2 thought processes on here, 2 reactions. One, okay, I can still get a little faster. Find something else that I can speed up with. Or 2, it really is him and he's just projecting his anger and everything on me. But you grew. Your plan has grown. Now, if it gets to the situation where you just need to get away from that negative situation, you have grown a better habit of prioritizing, categorizing, getting things done a little bit faster. Now you can look for that better job. You can move on. You know, you've got that better opportunity, and all because you dug down deeper and found the best seed to plant. So, foundation, find your seed, water, and growth. I think I've talked a little bit too long now, and I've got more stuff to talk about, but sounds like the squirrels are fighting. But definitely enjoy doing this, and I hope to keep going, and I hope to keep growing, because if you're not growing and you're just staying still where you're at, life gets boring. You can't experience new things, new places, new people, new experiences. That's no fun. If you ain't having fun doing what you're doing, why are you doing it?